Hello everyone, it's Will back again with the next episode of bonus footage. So for today's episode, it's not really gonna be anything personal, it's more of a grievances that I've had with my current editing app, which is Capcut. So for starters, let's start with the context. So I've been doing video production for quite a long time. In fact, it's been maybe 5, 6 years, probably 5. Within those 6 years, I've used nothing more than InShot and Capcut. Those two are basically the backbone of the channel, alright? But the one thing that made me switch was InShot limitation. Alright, for the first early years of the channel, I primarily use InShot. But as my editing skills got better and better, it just felt like I was being limited to it. Alright, InShot is not a bad app. It's not a bad app. I am in no way trying to undermine the usefulness of InShot, but it didn't feel quite free. You know what I mean? Like yes, it is paid, but the base capability of the app just didn't fit me. And CapCut just did the role much better actually, and it's far more flexible too. So maybe around 2022, I made the jump to CapCut. Funnily enough, I was actually a legitimate user of CapCut for the first year or two. Right? I used like the free version of the app because CapCut back then was actually respectable. It's a respectable app back then, and emphasize on back then. Right? In 2023, CapCut was just it just did what InShot did, but better and far more flexible. But the thing is, CapCut is still a firm, alright? The company behind it, ByteDance, is a firm after all. And one thing I learned in economics is that firm chases, what do you say? Firm chases profit, and we as consumer, we chases convenience. So what they did is they made the free version worse and worse over time to incentivize pro version of the app. So basically, the free version just started having less and less feature. They started artificially inflating the pro version by undermining the free version usefulness. So that way, anyone that is planning to use CapCut has to buy the pro version because it's basically mandatory. Alright, CapCut is not a bad app. By no means is it a terrible app. It starts to feel limited like how I felt with InShot now, but it's still a competent app. But the thing is, now that pro version is gatekeeping everything, it just feels bad. Alright, I just couldn't stand it anymore when they made motion blur a pro feature. That was the breaking point for me, and then I started to pirate the app illegally. Yeah, I'm gonna admit it. I pirate CapCut. Do what you want with that information. I don't really care. The thing is that it's just that the free version is so unbelievably awful now. Alright, if you go to the fonts, everything is paid, even the classic font, which is mind-boggling actually. What do you mean the classic font is paid? It's classic for a fucking reason. What the hell is wrong with this app? But the thing is, I get why they're doing it. Well, there's a concept I learned in economics that it's basically price elasticity, alright? Well, CapCut has transformed itself from being a luxury item into a necessity item. Back then, it was more of a luxury. If you didn't have Pro, you could still edit well actually. Like you could still edit very nicely. It's still packed full of features. But since they started undermining the value of free, everyone is forced to move to Pro. And the thing is, everyone is so used to CapCut that they just couldn't make the switch. Like for example, what if you are on a mobile device and CapCut is the only app that you're comfortable using? Well, sucks for you then, because the app just got worse. Right, so now people use CapCut as a necessity item, and the thing with price elasticity is that if an item is a necessity, then the price doesn't affect the demands of it. Alright, it doesn't matter if they bump up the price of Pro, people are still gonna buy it because, well, even though we chase convenience, we still do chase bargains. You know, that's kind of how economics works. But the thing is, there's only so much bargain we can chase before we start to get tired of it. which mean now a lot of users, all right, they stop trying to pirate the app because it's so goddamn hard. CapCut is an always online app, so it's really tricky to pirate it, but you get what I mean. So now, since people are tired of trying to find a way to crack the app, they're forced to pay, which means that their profits will go up because the demand for the app doesn't decrease. It's kind of a scummy tactic. It's the same reason why companies like Adobe doesn't issue a permanent, what do you say, a permanent subscription. No, the subscription is not permanent. A permanent license. Yes, if you go to Adobe's website right now, you'll find maybe something like monthly and yearly. It's never lifetime. Same with CapCut, it doesn't offer a lifetime. I don't think it does. Maybe it does, but I could be wrong. But high likeliness it probably doesn't, because well, if you're just forced to pay, yeah, it's like if it's not broke, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, after all, it makes them more money if you were to pay every year instead of just once. So yeah, I mean, they are a firm after all. They're a profit-driven company. It's not like they're doing charity, but it's just that how many more features can they cut before the base? What do you say? The base. User base start to dwindle, like they make billions of TikTok. I just know they make billions because they're pretty much like, yeah, they're pretty much like endorsed by TikTok. So like, what's the need to keep undercutting the base version of the app? You're just hurting yourself in the foot. It doesn't make sense. And this isn't just a thing with the mobile version of the app. This is a thing too with the PC version of the app. Like, you literally cannot remove the watermark on the PC version. I didn't even fucking know CapCut had a watermark. I just knew that yesterday, alright? Uh, and yeah, you can't even export in 1080p anymore with both mobile and PC CapCut. Alright, 1080p has been out since what, 2014? It's an old technology. What the fuck were they thinking when they started limiting 1080p? Like, it's basically the standard now. If they limited 4K or 2K videos, then yeah, sure, I'll understand it. But 1080p is it's a technology that's been out for God knows how long. Alright, why are they limiting that? I have no fucking idea. But yeah, if you go to CapCut Mobile now, you can see so many features are just prologue. Alright, the fonts all are prologue. Even fade in, the text animation fade in is a pro feature that's basically available in every other editing app. I don't understand. Like, they're undercutting way too much. It's gonna hurt them in the back. You know what I mean? Like, there's only a certain point where you undercut your app so much before the user base starts to backlash, and in a sense, it already has. Alright, if you go on TikTok, there's already a lot of posts just complaining about how CapCut is over time is becoming money hungry, and suffice to say, I don't disagree with them. They've started to care less for the customer and more about profit, which it hurts the app in the long run. But anyways, that's just it for the second episode. I hope you enjoyed my rambling. Well, if you don't, then well, sucks to sucks. But yeah, that's about it. Farewell, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys next week.